Good afternoon, YouTube family. Today is July 11th, 2024, and it's your man Big D, and I'm back with another public service announcement. But before I go in on this next episode, I would like to thank those of you that have taken the time to go over to my son's channel, Illuminated D, to consume the content that he has over there, and also to the good people that have chose to subscribe to his channel, to like his channel, to share his channel with others. I appreciate that, and I know he does as well. So YouTube, it never ceases to amaze me, and even at being over 50 years old, I'm always learning something new every day. And when I hear these things, I think it's important that I speak on things that I think that we as a community can benefit from. So I was talking to a young lady friend of mine, and she was telling me that there's this new thing that's going around where if a woman is out in public and if a man approaches her, the woman will basically give this guy her number, and it won't be a fake number. It'll be a real number. And when, after she gives this person her number, she'll drive off. And, at that point, when she's away from this person, this individual, she'll, block his number and delete him. And I'm thinking well, why are women having to do that? Well, she's saying that what's going on now is that men have become so emotional and so aggressive that when they approach a woman out in public, and if they are rejected by this woman, or if the woman gives them a wrong phone number, because when you exchange numbers, the dude typically he'll call the number right there so you can lock his number in. So it has gotten so bad that I guess when men are getting rejected, they just straight whooping the chick ass. And I was like, huh? So, hey, I got on my little, on the internet, did my little searching and my little research. And what I found out was this is absolutely positively happening. This is a real thing. Man, let me tell you something. Well, before I speak on it further, I also did a little more research, and obviously, I can't give you the actual statistics and what have you. But it appears that the men that are doing this are from my community. I've not found this going on with Caucasian men, Asian men. It's mainly in the black community. And I want to say this: there was a time when I was growing up where if you approached a woman and you asked for her number, one or two things is going to happen. Either she was going to give you her number or she was going to say no. At that point, hey, you just took the L and you walked off. There was never no hands-on situation where, that where you whooped a woman's ass. Now, over the years, I saw that, back when I was coming up, because you got to understand, back when I was coming up, we didn't have no cell phones. It started with the pagers or the beepers. Then when I did get my first cell phone, it was about as big as this shaker cup, right? And I've seen cell phones get as small as a deck of cards. So when I say that I've been, walking to and from and seeing things for over 50 years, well, let me tell you, that is actual and it's factual. So, I've seen a lot of things happen as I have grown older. So as I said, back in them days, if the woman didn't give you her number, then you just took the L and you left. If she gave you her number, then hey, then you proceed. Well, it went from guys would take the L to it went to guys would, to the point they would curse the chick out. If the chick said, well, no, I don't want to give you my number, I have a boyfriend. It got to the point that we had graduated from just taking the L to going, now we are verbally cursing the women out. That's what I saw when I was coming up as a young man dating. Well, now I hear that it has gone a step further. It has gone from you verbally lambashing the female to now you going hands on. You putting your hands on this person, you putting your hands on this woman, you whooping her ass. So it's to the point now that women are so afraid that if they out in public, if they at the gas pumps, if they at the convenience store, if a guy approach them, they are automatically on high alert, and they just go ahead and just say, hey, yeah, just take my number, and they'll go ahead and give the guy the number, knowing that when they get up the street, they gonna block his ass. And women are doing this because they are fearful that if they give the guy the wrong number, say they give the guy a number, he calls it right then and there, so she can lock in his number, and he finds it's a wrong number. If she get cursed out, she be lucky. But it's to the point now, men are whooping women's asses. Listen, this one for the brothers. Let me tell you something. As a man, you cannot be so emotional that for you to be rejected by a woman, that you take on the emotional mindset of a woman, and you act out in such a way that you got to put your hands on this person, somebody else's child, somebody else's daughter, somebody else's auntie. Now, let me ask you something, brothers. Would you, if you had a sister, mother, auntie, and she was out in public and a guy approached her and asked for her number, and she refused to give this guy her number, or she give the guy a wrong number, he whoop her ass. You wouldn't like that. You wouldn't like that shit, not one bit. But why is it that every time I turn around, it's always our community that's doing these crazy things, right? It just don't make no sense. So men, we have reverted back to, you basically might as well say the caveman days, because back in the Neanderthal and the caveman days, if they wanted a mate, they just bopped their ass over the head with the club and knocked their ass out and drug her ass back in the cave. Next thing she knows, she getting smashed. Them days are gone. But it seems like we are reverting back to that. And men, let me tell you something, that's not a good look. I don't agree with the way that women are moving nowadays, in particular black women. I don't agree with their unrealistic expectations and standards. It's okay for a woman to have expectations and standards, but they must be realistic. And that's going to be different for every man. It's going to look different for every man. What I call, realistic, the next man might say is unrealistic. So that's going to change from person to person. But here's the thing. No way, shape, form, or fashion is it okay to commit at the minimum a battery and an assault over rejection, over being rejected. Listen, I can understand why women, in particular black women, don't really they really don't have a lot of faith in the black men. I understand that, because if this is going on, then I can understand why the sisters have kind of gone the way that they've gone. I'm not saying I agree with it, But I most certainly don't agree with the man putting his hands on a woman because she rejected him. That is not a masculine trait. And in fact, it is a feminine trait, and it is an emotional trait. And I'm telling you right now, men, if that applies to you, you need to go get therapy. I don't give a damn if a woman rejects you. You shouldn't call out a name. You shouldn't try to clown her. A L and a rejection is just that. You move on and you go about your business, because if you are a man of value, or you are an aspiring man of value, it's like my mom always told me, it's plenty of leaves on the tree, meaning that there's plenty of women out there. If one says no, there's a likelihood that two more may say yes. But for you to physically and verbally force somebody to accept you, to want to be with you, even though they're not attracted to you, now that's a problem. That's a problem. And we need to take a step back, and we need to evaluate this. You know, in my years of man, it seems like I've been doing this thing called life for a long time, and every day doesn't get any easier for me. And as far as the aches and pains and the things that I go through in life, yes, here's the thing. Yes, you can be in a good place financially, but that don't mean you're in a good place, because you can have other things going on behind the scenes that make life very difficult for you. But at the same time, man, if you know that you're not in a good position, and if you know that you're one of those men that probably was raised by a single mom, there was no man around to give you guidance, to show you how a man should move and operate, well, you probably need to find yourself a mentor. And I don't mean I don't mean go and get no Pookie or Ray Ray as a mentor. I mean, find you a mentor, find you a man whose life is a reflection of his walk. Meaning that, I'm not saying I'm no multi-millionaire, but I am financially secure. So men, you all need to aspire to be that. If you focus more on being more tomorrow than you were yesterday, a lot of the issues and concerns that I'm hearing in the Black community, they will be at a minimum. It's just, man, when I heard her tell me this, I was like, man, I cannot believe that it's gotten so bad. The dating market has gotten so bad that men have become this thing that we are so toxic that we are putting our hands on women when they refuse to give us their phone number because they're not interested. Listen, this is America. It's freedom of choice. If the woman's not attracted to you for whatever the reason, that's her right. And you have no right to put your hands on anybody's child, especially an adult, all because of she rejected you. If this applies to you, because I know my detractor is going to say, oh, that ain't every man. Well, I didn't say every man. But obviously there's enough where this is becoming an epidemic, and not just here in the state of Florida, but it's happening all around. And the sad thing about it is, it's the Black men that are doing it. There was a candidate, and I don't want to say her name because I don't want to get it. Well, she was a presidential candidate at one point, and I don't want to drop no names, but this person said that Black men are super predators. Super predators. Well, you know what? As I sit and think about it, there may have been some truth to what she was saying. Because men, if you were putting your hands on a woman because she told you that she don't want to give you her number, no, she don't want to go out on a date with you, that is her right. Just like if a woman approached you and asked for your number, and for whatever the reason, maybe you are already in a relationship. Maybe you are in a place in life where you want to focus on, you and not focus on trying to date somebody, because when you date somebody, that takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to date somebody. And if you know that you don't have that extra energy to spare because you're focusing on yourself, well then, gentlemen, that's your right. You should be okay, and it should be safe for you to tell this woman, hey, listen, I'm just not interested. I'm just trying to, work on myself. You wouldn't want a woman to curse you out and demean you and say, oh, you must got a little dick, or you must be gay, or you must be this, you must be that. Listen, you wouldn't like that. So why is it right for you to curse a woman out, call out her name because she don't want to give you her number? We have got to do better. Every time I wake up, every day that I wake up, rather, I turn on the news and I see something that black people are doing that's even more crazier than what I saw the day before. Listen, people, my people, we are in a sad state of affairs, and we need to get our shit together. When I was coming up, hey, I took many L's. Woman said, chick didn't want to, she ain't want to be bothered. She ain't want to give me a number. Hey, I kept it pushing. I didn't die from it. I didn't cease to exist. She just said no, and I moved on. And that's what we all have to do. Listen, I'm utterly appalled and ashamed that I'm affiliated with a group of men that are just straight up just a woman tell you no, she don't want to accept your phone number, or no, you can't get her phone number. You immediately start cursing her out. And then you commence to whipping her ass. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, that right there is appalling. And men, if this video applies to you, you need to go get some therapy, because you need it. And I understand that sometimes, because here's the thing, as children, you cannot choose your parents. So sometimes we are unfortunate enough to have to have been born to parents that may not have their lives together. And I understand that when that happens, that's when you start having these generational curses. But at some point, somebody got to break those curses. If mama didn't do the right thing, if daddy didn't do the right thing, that don't mean that you shouldn't do the right thing. And it is enough high value men out there that will have no problem mentoring a decent man. And there's a lot of mentors out there. Hey, I was mentored when I was coming up, because I wasn't raised in the best of environments. I didn't have no solid man in the house to tell me, hey, listen, this is how a man's supposed to move. This is what a man should do. This is what he shouldn't do. And as a result, I made mistakes in life that I'm not proud of. Men, in closing, let me say this. It is not a flex, and it's not right for you to put your hands on a woman because she don't want to give you her number. And it is not right that we live in the United States of America, where a woman should feel afraid because she don't want to give a guy her number. Man, this is crazy. Listen, that sounds like the same craziness that our ancestors endured when we were brought over to this country in slavery. Nobody wanted to be a slave, and the African American, the African women that were raped back in those days, because they didn't want to be over here. They didn't want to be sold into slavery, and they most definitely did not want to be raped by white men, by the slave master. But if Massa wanted to be physical with one of the slaves, you know what I'm saying? You know, if she didn't just openly just spread her legs, he curse her out, he whoop her ass. Well, that's the same, man. Listen, that sound like this. That sound like the same thing that's going on now. And black men, you're doing this to our sisters. No, I don't agree with how they're moving. I don't agree with some of their unrealistic expectations. But here's the thing. If we don't do better and show them a better example of how a man should be, they'll never fully understand how a real woman should move. And even if the women are not exactly the quote unquote wholesome woman, or she's a modern woman. Listen, the same way that you can find a good mentor, she can too. But women are just, you know, for a woman to just be afraid when a guy approaches her that, oh my God, I got to give him my number, because if I don't, you know, this guy might whoop my ass. At the bare minimum, he gonna curse me out. Man, listen, that is asinine and it's crazy and it makes no sense. We have got to do better. If this applies to you, you need to get some therapy, and you need to do a self-assessment of your life. Well, YouTube, I'm not gonna hold you. I just want to come on here and just talk to that a little bit. And as I always said, and I'll continue to say, strive to be more tomorrow than you were today. Do better. Peace.